Dear Galadriel, many fans have complained the franchise is not interested in telling great stories anymore. Amazon just wants to put a dagger in the heart of the franchise and bleed it to death. That is the only explanation for consistently making projects that makes fans want to vomit on the IP they once loved. In November 2017, Amazon invested $1 billion to acquire the film rights of the franchise, committing to a 5-season production budget of at least $1 billion. We are currently in the year 2024, and at this point, it is evident to say that Amazon just wasted $1 billion. They should have at least given the money to charity, given to a political party, invest in space research, given it as dividends to shareholders, or at least burnt it all together for YouTube views. What is worse is that The Rings of Power is the most expensive television series ever made. The series looks amazing visually, but most fans want back the characters that they once loved. In an effort to be more inclusive, the studio forgot to bring their hardcore fans along for the ride. It is bad that most of its fans are boycotting the film. That is not a very good position to be in. How many casual fans is the Rings of Power series bringing into the franchise? And how many is it sending away? The data says it all, and we go to the viewership records. The show premiered on Prime Video in September 1st, 2022, with its first 2 episodes watched by 25 million viewers globally in the first 24 hours. The viewership says that only 37% of people that started watching the show actually finished it. The studios advertised the news all over town during the first week to make it seem that most fans loved the show. Fans wanted to know the premise of the series, to get clear understanding about the themes, stakes, and get familiarized with the characters. They were shocked, bamboozled, led astray to find out that the series had been overhyped. Less than 2/3 of Rings of Power watchers gave up on the program before the conclusion. By the finale, most of the fans were done. Majority of the series budget was going to create amazing visuals, but little was actually going to vet competent writing team that loved the source material and the Tolkien world. My biggest question is this: how many of the viewers who stayed for all 8 programs were hate watchers? I personally just watched so that I could review. If it wasn't for that, then I doubt if I would have stayed that long. My main concern with the first season was in order to move the plot along. The Rings of Power likewise mostly depended on bizarre coincidences, like the encounter between Galadriel and Halbrand. The 2 episodes of Rings of Power was enough to predict whether a viewer was going to watch towards the end of the series. It is not like they received any diversity awards in their effort. They won no major awards like the Oscars and Emmy to justify its existence. Even the voters knew they cannot give the series any awards because they haven't proved anything. The studio was under a lot of pressure from Amazon to course correct and find a way to bring more viewers into the franchise. Did the studio give an apology to the paying customer? Did they hire the right writers to save them? Did they stay away from controversial statements that will be used to discredit them? The answer, my fellow viewer, is no. The franchise as a whole is incapable of generating good PR about their product. The PR department associated with Rings of Power should be let go immediately. The studio announced that Rings of Power Season 2 will be directed by an all-female team. Is there any wrong with that? No. That was an ammunition given by the studio to toxic creators. The question that most fans wanted to know is, why did they feel the need to announce it? Casual fans had questions like, why were men directors excluded from being involved in the film? Are they incompetent, lazy, or why? After all, men are 50% of the population and majority of the fan base in the Lord of the Rings franchise. The studios have still not given a reasonable explanation why they saw it necessary to announce instead of waiting after the series' success and reception by the fans. The actors involved in this film also sucked during interviews. Compare that with her House of the Dragon series. The series is also a very diverse film, but they give charming interviews and they do not give ammunition to toxic creators that will be used against them. They are always taking the fans for supporting the show. They are always happy and speak glowingly about their time working on the series. They have captivating, interesting stories during filming. They hype up the film to casual fans as well as hardcore fans. They know there are some fans who are angry about the ending of Game of Thrones finale and are skeptical about the current series. They do not bash them. Now compare that with the Rings of Power cast. In every interview, they are always generating negative headlines, comments, plus the series is bad on top of that. The new teaser of Lord of the Rings was released and it was fine, I guess. It was ratioed into existence. A lot of fans are angry and deeply hate the film. It has so many dislikes than likes in all of their clips on every social media site. Fans are not backing away to remind them just how much they hate what the series has become. The teaser trailer did not show anything massive or make fans hyped up to watch the film. The studio is obviously scared of angering the remaining fans of the franchise. They have been clowned. A lot of YouTubers with massive audiences have clowned the shows they make, thereby creating a type of negative narrative associated with their series. The highlights of the teaser trailer are the amazing CGI that has been used to make fictional places in the book into reality. The main star of the film, Galadriel, does not hype up the film or rave about the amazing progress in the story arc of the series. I once thought that The Rings of Power would be a better series than House of the Dragon, but immediately I saw the series' first episode, the evidence was clear. The question that most fans have is, will the series deliver? Will Galadriel's story be compelling? Will Sauron be a better villain than the first season? Will the plot make sense? How bad can the series actually sink? Will the characters change how they communicate with each other? Did the writing team learn from their mistakes in the first end? Will the series be better than the first season, which is a really low bar? We will have to wait to get answers on August 29, 2024, whereby the show will be airing their first episode. In conclusion, Season 2 of Rings of Power cannot be a flop. It just can't. Now is the time for the studio to actually deliver what most fans want. Good stories that fans have never seen and want to see. Galadriel should be given a decent story arc. She is the main star and therefore should be entertaining to watch. Sauron should also be a menacing figure that causes a lot of problems for Galadriel. It will not be fair if I wouldn't mention innocent actors with their families who have been attacked online with threats, which is really unfortunate. The writing team are usually at fault when the plot and characters don't make sense. The truth is that most fans do not need to watch Rings of Power. We choose to watch it. The studios should stop overestimating the importance. If they do not get together in the Season 2 of Rings of Power, then they will be forgotten, just like other franchises that have come before.